Hello. I'm going to give you my take on religion. What does religion look like to me? Imagine if a guy went up to you, pointed to his head and said, "Look, there's fairies. These fairies are circling my head right now. Don't you see the fairies? Don't you see them? Don't you see the fairies?" And of course you wouldn't see the fairies. There's just nothing there. He's a crazy person. There's no difference between that and religion. And it's also, and to Christians out there who might watch this, let me ask you a question. What if someone walked to you and said, "Do you believe in Zeus?" And if you say no, and the pagan says, "Why don't you believe in Zeus?" And then you say, "Well, there's no proof of Zeus's existence." And then just imagine that I pop around the corner, jump into this conversation and says, "Well, what's the existence for your God? Is there any proof of either one of your guys' existences?" No, there isn't. Oh, not only does the guy with the fairies say, look at my fairies, he also says, "You must worship these fairies as your God and Savior, and if you don't, you'll burn in hell. Also, if you are a friend or loved one and you do not worship the magical, invisible fairies circling my head, I'm going to get depressed and cry because the fairies are going to kick your ass when you die." It's madness. It's just... That's why when I told a university professor that if society is run by faith and feelings, it's not a good road, when she said, "Oh, that's just a broad brush," I should have said, "Okay, let me put it a different way. If society is run by madness and insanity, then bad things are going to happen. Then there's really no difference than being driven by faith and being driven by feelings. They're both a form of madness where they both reject reason and logic. Yes, I suppose I am strident now, as the stereotype for atheist is. But that's my view of it. It's sort of nuts. And I will quickly destroy the three major arguments for the existence of a deity. Look how awesome society, the existence is. There must be a designer. That's just like saying, look how complex the free market is. It needs a designer. No, just because something's complex doesn't mean it needs a creator. And then there's, if you can think of a perfect man, then a perfect being, and that perfect being has to be God. No, just because you can think of a perfect being does not mean there is a perfect being. And then there's, well, you need a God to start the universe in action. Well, who started God? Well, God didn't need to be started. Well, if God doesn't need to start, then why does the universe need to be started? Maybe it's just better to say that the universe never was started by anything. It just is eternal. It just is. There's no beginning to the universe. It is eternal. Therefore, I destroyed the cosmological, teleological, and ontological arguments for the existence of a deity. On top of the fact that even if any of those arguments are true, it doesn't convince me that means that I must take my babies and cut their penises. It's called circumcision. Because even if those prove God, that doesn't prove that the Christian God is the right one, or the Islamic God, or the pagan gods. It just it doesn't work like that. That's my take on religion. I think the world would be much better off without it. Yeah, and it's very sad that a hero of atheism is sick now, Hitchens. It's very sad because he's an awesome guy. I'm going to buy his book now. If you wonder what the music is, it's Leibach. It's their Volkswagen album. The channel is Leibach Kunst. Yeah, thank you.